Hello, welcome to Cybernova. In this video tutorial, we are going to discuss how to use nslookup for DNS information gathering. In this video, we will learn what nslookup is, how to use it in Windows 11 and online, and what kind of information we can gather using it. nslookup is a network administration command line utility and web application that allows us to query the domain name system or DNS to obtain the domain name or IP address mapping or any other specific DNS record. DNS is a system that translates human-readable domain names into machine-readable IP addresses and vice versa. For example, when you type www.google.com in your browser, the DNS will translate it into an IP address like 142.250.64.100 and send your request to that address. nslookup can help us to gather information about the target domain such as its IP address, name server, mail server, etc. This information can be useful for performing reconnaissance, vulnerability assessment, or penetration testing on the target domain or its associated servers. To use nslookup in Windows 11, we need to launch a command prompt. To do that, we can click on the Start menu and type cmd and press enter. This will open a command prompt window where we can type nslookup and press enter. This will display the default server and its address assigned to the Windows 11 machine. The default server is the server that will handle our queries and resolve the domain names for us. To query for the IP address of a domain, we need to set the type as A by typing setType is equal to A and press enter. Setting the type as A configures nslookup to query for the IP address of a given domain. Then we can type the domain name that we want to query and press enter. For example, if we want to query for the IP address of www.certifiedhacker.com, we can type www.certifiedhacker.com and press enter. This will return the IP address of the domain and whether it is an authoritative or non-authoritative answer. An authoritative answer means that the answer is coming from the server that legitimately hosts the domain and has the most accurate and up-to-date information about it. A non-authoritative answer means that the answer is coming from a server that is not directly responsible for the domain and may have cached or outdated information about it. For example, if we query for the IP address of www.certifiedhacker.com, we may get a non-authoritative answer from the default server hosted on our local machine. That resolves our requested domain. The IP address of the target domain www.certifiedhacker.com is 162.241.216.11. Since the result is non-authoritative, we need to obtain the domain's authoritative name server. The authoritative name server is the server that stores the records associated with the domain and can answer our queries authoritatively. To obtain the domain's authoritative name server, we need to set the type as cname by typing setType is equal to cname and press enter. The cname lookup is done directly against the domain's authoritative name server and lists the cname records for a domain. A cname record is a type of DNS record that maps an alias name to canonical name or the true name of the domain. Then we can type the domain name that we want to query and press enter. For example, if we want to query for the authoritative name server of certifiedhacker.com, we can type certifiedhacker.com and press enter. This will return the domain's authoritative name server and the mail server address. For example, the authoritative name server of certifiedhacker.com is ns1.bluehost.com and the mail server address is dnsadmin.box5331.bluehost.com. Since we have obtained the authoritative name server, we will need to determine the IP address of our name server. To do that, we can set the type as A. Again, by typing set type is equal to A and presenter, then we can type the name server that we want to query and presenter. For example, if we want to query for the IP address of ns1.bluehost.com, we can type ns1.bluehost.com and press enter. This will return the IP address of the server. For example, the IP address of ns1.bluehost.com is 162.159.24.80. The authoritative name server stores the records associated with the domain and can be a target for attacks such as DOS, DDoS, URL redirection, etc. DOS stands for denial of service and DDoS stands for distributed denial of services. These are the types of attacks that aim to overwhelm the server with a large amount of traffic or request and make it unavailable or slow down its performance. URL redirection is a type of attack that redirects the user to a malicious or phishing website instead of the intended one. These attacks can compromise the security and integrity of the domain and its associated server. To use nslookup online, we can open any browser and go to http://www.cloth.net, kloth.net, services, nslookup.php. This is a website that provides an online tool for nslookup. Here, we can enter the domain name that we want to query and select the query type from the drop-down menu. Then we can click the Look It Up button to review the results. For example, if we want to query for the IP address of certifiedhacker.com, we can enter certifiedhacker.com in the domain field and select A from the query field and click the Look It Up button. This will return the IP address of the domain and whether it is an authoritative or non-authoritative answer. There are different query types that we can use to gather different DNS information, such as A, which is IPv4 address, AA, which stands for IPv6 address, MX for mail exchange, NS for name server, etc. For example, if we want to query for the IPv6 address of certifiedhacker.com, we can select AA from the query field and click the Look It Up button. This will return the IPv6 address of the domain and whether it is an authoritative or non-authoritative answer. IPv6 is a newer version of IP protocol that uses 128-bit addresses instead of 32-bit addresses and can support more devices and networks. IPv6 network can also be a target for attacks as there are some vulnerabilities and misconfigurations associated with them. There are also other DNS lookup tools that we can use to extract additional target DNS information, such as DNS Dumpster, DNS Records, etc. DNS Dumpster is a website that provides a DNS recon and research tool that can generate a map of target domains, DNS infrastructure, and reveal hidden subdomains, email servers, etc. DNS Records is a website that provides a tool that can perform various DNS queries and display the results in a table format. These tools can help us to gain more insight into the target domain and its associated servers and identify potential attack vectors. This concludes our video tutorial on how to use nslookup for DNS information gathering. I hope you enjoyed this video and learned something new. Please like, share and subscribe to my channel for more ethical hacking tutorials.